Broadcasting live from the backstretch at Saratoga, this is the Handicappers Report. Brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Handicappers Report, coming to you live from the backstretch of Saratoga Race Course alongside Seth Merrow. I am Anthony Mormino on what has become Groundhog Day. Another beautiful morning out here. Saturday, best day of the week for perfect weather, and we have it.
It is. It's a gorgeous day. And yesterday, we knocked a little wood because they were saying maybe some afternoon showers, but no, it turned out to be a really nice day yesterday. A little bit humid. Today, I think is less humid than yesterday, at least at this point in the day.
I concur.
That holds out. But as I said, it was a little bit humid yesterday, but that's fine, given the fact that we didn't get the rain. I ran into a little sprinkle as I left here, but I mean a minimal sprinkle as I left here. And so there was really nothing as far as what they had predicted the night before. So, and today they're shooting for a nice day, and so far so good.
5 winning favorites yesterday, so the tick goes up.
Yeah, let me.
And only one horse paid double digits, and the good guys got him. Circuit Court for Lisa. Right, I don't think any other horse paid over 980.
Yeah,
hers was 2840, lighting up the board. And what'd you quote yesterday? Favorites about 37%.
37.7 at this point.
It's better than that today.
46. No, today.
Oh,
that's after yesterday. 37.7.
5 for 10.
So 46 winning favorites, as you say, 5 yesterday. That's in 122 races. So pick 6 paid $16,000. I would have to think a lot of that has to be based on the $28 horse, because otherwise, what did you have? You had 560, 550, 990, 28. 750 and 610, and 3 of those were the favorites. So it doesn't seem like it was a crazy head scratcher of a sequence. The late pick 5 paid over $4,000, but again, the $28 horse was in there too. But otherwise, it was, I don't know, fairly.
But that's odd because the $28 horse. You have yesterday's PPs, and amongst all that, that horse wasn't 12-1 on the morning line. And this is something Brian Addo told me, and it makes a lot of sense, that the one part about the mathematical
8-1 on the morning line.
8-1. One difference that why I don't quote the parlay all the time, even though I keep a running stat, is, Brian would tell me, like, there was a Bill Mott horse one time that paid like $38, and he goes, that horse wasn't 18-1 in the horizontals. Now, you would have thought that Circuit Court, who was 8-1 in the morning line, wouldn't be 13-1, that she was in the thing. So my point is that sometimes the mutuals might look high, but for the horizontals, we have to bet in advance. An 8-1 shot should be on a lot of tickets. A 15-1 shot, I could see, kicking people out and raising it. But that horse was 8-1, and we all know how good David is at the morning line, and that's like one that he was more right than the fans.
Yeah, no, that was...
So I agree with you. That's a very healthy price, because I've said this many times before, and I realize so many people focus on the Derby, but I don't like in everyday racing. An 8-1 shot on the morning line, I think, is extremely playable if I'm playing horizontals. But that's a great get out, 16,000 for.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the sequence here. The one that went the other direction, Smoking Wicked, won the feature, 6-1 on the morning line, wound up paying $750.
They crushed him,
yeah,
and he crushed them. Kudos to Dallas Stewart. Yeah, that was about. That was extremely impressive.
Is almost 6 lengths. Yeah.
Who was the favorite? Mystic.
Macho Music.
Macho Music, who I thought ran his eyeballs out You know, he was down inside and got all the worst of it. And I always say this, like, he wasn't in it to win the last eighth of a mile, but he was in it to the 16th pole after getting all the worst of it. But kudos to Dallas Stewart and the bettors, because and Brian
Hernandez comes in town for the ride.
I kind of not breadboard, but I reverse engineer it, and I'm going, boy, you know, that Churchill Downs horse, you know, just he looked powerful. What do you end up winning? We didn't need the photo finish camera too often yesterday.
Under 6 lengths.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a lot for a quality sprint.
Yeah.
And not only that, he was on the pace. You know, he was probably about a half a length off of it. So it wasn't like he picked up the pieces and ran over the top of them. He was in it early and then just blasted them late.
Yeah, chart has him second, and first.
I mean, it was no, what was that horse a couple years ago? Sir Prancelot? It was no Sir Prancelot, but it was pretty darn impressive for an Amsterdam.
Yeah.
You think about what Quality Road set the track record that's still under suspicion, but the track record. 113 and change. And I always said it's not because Quality Road was a aptly named horse, a quality horse. There was a New York bred, I should look this up, that had like a 21 and change turn time that really put the doubt of the track record for me, that a New York bred. I'm going to look that up when Quality Road. Johnny V, I think, right? Was but kudos to Dallas Stewart and Brian Hernandez. That was, I thought, an impressive effort. Kudos to the bettors. They surrounded 9 of the 10 races. I think you should get extra points when you have the $28 longest price. But and congratulations to Lisa. That was the first runner of the year. I think she's 2 for 6 now, lifetime. You know, that gets you in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
It was nice. Yeah, it was a nice win by her to get the price over. And again, on the morning line, it wasn't the price, but the betting public overlooked a little bit. Irad comes up with a couple of victories yesterday. He's now 24, 6 ahead of his brother Jose. There's a tie in third with 9. Ricardo Santana, Joel Rosario, and Flavian Prat. On the trainer side of things, tie atop. Todd Pletcher and Chad Brown. They both have 9. Linda Rice has 7.
You know, what's funny is, and doing Delmar Flavin out of town again, but he won the first 3 of the meet. Then he had 2, right, 2 days ago. That's 5 of the 9 right there. This meet is flying by. And one thing also, lighting up the board, not this time, had 2 more winners yesterday. And this I said at the beginning of the meet, and I've said a couple times, probably not in the last 10 shows though. My stats are incorporating this meet from July 3rd. I'm not taking the Belmont Festival, but I am taking the Independence Day because we ran on Sunday, we ran on Thursday. So those days count for me because one of the winners for Not This Time was the Independence Day meet. So my stats might be a little bit different. And also, I was surprised. So I have them at 8. I guess if you looked in different areas, they'd say 7 because they're not going to count the July 5th win. 5 of them are turf runners.
That's interesting.
And 3 of them, including the July 5th winner, debut 2-year-old fillies. So nearly 40% of his winners in my chart are debuting 2-year-old fillies.
I'll make a note of that and continue to watch as we go forward.
But the reason I bring up the turf is, he never ran on the turf. He was a very, very good 2-year-old. He never had a 3-year-old season. I think he retired early in the season. I think he was the favorite over Classic Empire, the juvenile, and they ran reverse. And I did look it up. It was that Iroquois in the slop 2-turn at that September meet when they started running the September meet at Churchill Downs. But as I just said, 5 of his 8, and I think only 1 was a dash. So there were 2 turns. So I bring it out there because I think we and I would be in that group without the data, might be a little surprised that he's been prodigious on the turf. I think his firsters don't surprise us. the fact that they were all fillies, there you have it.
I will toss out also the last race yesterday. Dividend recap scored for Miguel Clement, who's having a great, early start to the career
White hot.
here. But he won it for his mom in the last race. The runner Dividend recap hadn't been seen since November 23.
Doesn't matter.
First couple of starts, maiden specials, came back for a tag yesterday off the layoff and got it done. And as I was walking out, Miguel, his mom, and Acacia were walking out of the winner's circle and around to watch the replay on the big screen. And I turned and I said, no, it's nice to get a winner in the last race of the day, like a birdie on the last hole at the golf course. And Acacia said to me, especially for who we won it for, and that Miguel's mom was there, and it was nice that we capped the day.
Obviously it's a very sad time for the family overall, and he's been white hot. I mean, yeah. I think he's live today also. I mean, it's spotting his horses wonderfully.
Yeah, no question about it. And again, nice way to end the day. Let me hit what's coming up here at Capital OTB. Don't forget, Pick 3 Bankroll will end within the next couple hours or so. So you still have time to put your name in the hat to be on tomorrow's Pick 3 Bankroll team. Go to capitalotb.com, click on the promotions link, look for that graphic, click on that. There will be an entry form there, fill it out. And again, we'll select the team later today, and I will play on their behalf tomorrow. Also today, Fan Appreciation Day at the Rivers branch. There's a trifecta challenge. That's what's going to be going on today down at Rivers. Trifecta challenge. If you go down there, a little extra fun at the OTB branch, Rivers Casino down in Schenectady. At the Clubhouse Racebook, King of the Hill. A little extra fun at the Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany today with the King of the Hill. We also have the Bounty Bet today. Don't forget, Saturdays during the Saratoga meet, and it's the late Pick 5 at Saratoga. Just play with your Capital OTB bet account. You're in for a shot at the Bounty. And tomorrow at the Clubhouse Racebook Knockout Challenge. So a lot of extra fun during the Saratoga season via Capital OTB. You can keep up with all the promos and events at capitalotb.com. I'll give you a little update coming up at 10 o'clock. You mentioned David Aragona. He'll be in with us a little bit later on in the hour at 10. So we will get some thoughts on maybe some races today and more from David Aragona. Callie Francois will join us. She substituted for Steve Bick last weekend, but she was out doing a little work on the backstretch, taped some interview minutes with Mark Cassie, talked some Sandman, talked some Classic Q. We'll show that. We'll talk a little bit more with Callie, and hope to get Griffin Johnson, the West Point thoroughbred partner in Sandman. He's through the ABR, America's Best Racing program, bringing some influencers in. He only has like 14 million followers, so he's been kind of chronicling his travels with Sandman throughout his career for his followers. Hope to get him in. I'm not sure whether we're going to get him. If we don't, though, we'll get Terry Finley in to talk a little bit about Sandman this afternoon and more. All of that coming up at 10 o'clock.
All right, then. A beautiful Saturday. Last one before August hits us. And as I said, I'll almost have accidents, everything. We've had a lot going on here this morning. You can see.
That wasn't that close. I say that because they've been closer.
They're very close. We didn't hear the screech, which is the real sign. We had 2 ambulances show up for one incident earlier this morning, and with the fire truck. That was about 8:10 this morning.
I didn't realize you were talking about today. I got it filled in during the commercial.
Yeah, no, that was just a little while, about an hour ago. The person looked to be as okay as somebody getting on a stretcher and being loaded into an ambulance could be. I mean, they put themselves onto the stretcher, which I think is a good sign, that they're able to do that. But we'll hold out hope. And it should now be time for the Brooklyn Cowboys to Paula play of the day.
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group, Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
Hello, everybody. Kevin Cox, the Brooklyn Cowboy, here with your DePaula play of the day from beautiful Saratoga Race Course on Jim Dandy Day. We've been giving you our plays of the day on Fridays and Saturdays throughout the meet, and we've been basing our success for the bankroll team on a 50 to win, 30 to place, 20 to show wager. And after showing a flat bet profit in the first 3 years in doing this, we're off to a decent start this summer with a win and 2 showings from 5 selections. Let's get right to it. Our play of the day today will be in race 7, number 4, Badra, a tough name to pronounce, but not a tough horse to pick. This miss played the fade when starting things out in Louisville a month ago, but in all fairness was a bit slow out of the gate that day before rushing up from a disadvantageous post position while setting some positively insane splits as the favorite. We don't think she's going to be bet that heavily today, as this entire field, with the exception of one horse, were either bred for a higher price or went for a higher price at auction. And you know how people at Saratoga like betting those hot-known first-time starters. Speaking of hot, the red-hot Jose Ortiz gets the call, and he's on a 4-for-11 run with this outfit, and there happens to be a solid DRF formulator stat in play as well. Over the last 5 years, Brissett is 4 of 10, or is it Brisset? It's 4 of 10 with second-time starters at this level on the dirt who are off the board less than 50 days ago, no Lasix, at 10 to 1 or less. There's a positive ROI for that sampling. So once again, our DePaula play of the day on Jim Dandy Day, Saturday at Saratoga, is in race number 7, number 4, Badra. Have a wonderful, safe, and fun day, and we'll see you out there.
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. Delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group. Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, on a very heavy traffic morning out at Clare Court. I was thinking as I looked at the top of the sheet here, July 26th. I should probably look this up. When it was a 4-day meet 2 generations ago, I still don't think, I can't remember what the earliest opening date was, but I don't think it ever opened yet. In my mind's eye, I have like July 29th or 28th as right. The earliest, because they used to never want to open in July. And with the 24 days, they could work it almost any way they wanted. But I don't think, I'm gonna look that up in my lifetime. I don't think it had ever opened up yet when it was the 4-day meet. I think it's still too early in July for the August place to be.
Yeah, my guess would be you're correct there.
All right. You ready for 12?
I'm ready.
On a beautiful, I cannot repeat it enough, a beautiful day. If you were even on the fence, you're coming up.
Oh, we just saw Kevin Cox give his play of the day. Hats off to Kevin Cox. He had the winner yesterday. So another.
Which one did he have?
He had the opener, Accelerated News at 880. And it so added a nice little chunk of change to the pot for the players. So
good job.
Yeah, congratulations to Kevin yesterday.
Very nice.
The winner. So there is, I gotta be over $2,000 already in.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so they're chunking away.
All right. The opener, we're going to go 6. Claimers 40,000.
5, 4, 2, and 7 for me. I'm going to put Friar Lawrence on top for Linda Rice. Second off the claim for Linda Rice. Claim for 50, went an optional claimer for 80 off the claim. Both of those were down at Churchill, and now comes up to New York and drops to below the level of the claim. Not in the fashion that I think is, sometimes they drop enough that you're kind of, this one, claim for 50, goes for 40. The purse here, 68,000. The math kind of adds up to be okay here. So Friar Lawrence on top. Second spot, Otto the Conqueror. Logical is the 8-5 favorite in here. Excuse me. And coming off a stakes race, coming off a couple of tries against Better, all down in Kentucky. Steve Asmussen trainee also getting a class drop on the move to New York. This one's maybe a little bit more concerning, but they didn't claim the horse 3 starts bad. They've had the horse throughout the career here and already have $500,000 in the bank. So maybe just getting realistic at this point with Otto the Conqueror. And in the third slot, I'll go with Loco Abario. Has a little bit of positional speed. I think the Will Walden trainee is also interesting, coming up from Kentucky with a little bit of a class drop with that early speed. And Irad Ortiz on board. So 5, 4, 2, and 7.
This race, the focus of it was, for me, I think there's many spots between where Otto the Conqueror is today and levels where he's been a little bit less than competitive, like many spots. And I just was like, and not only that, he's in for 40. He can win by 3 or 4. I mean, but I'm not paying to find out, because I think we've said it. This is probably at least the third time. Like, what is he doing here? I mean, to me, it's a horse that won a $300,000 stakes.
This one, though, with the $68,000 purse, if you won and got claimed, you'd have 70,000. So,
I mean,
and you look at what the horse has done so far this year, and maybe they're just getting a little bit realistic.
I didn't think either of those. That second back optional claiming was like for 175 was like, that's okay.
Yeah,
that was
I have it in the second slot. I'm in the same boat. I'm not thrilled, but I couldn't put it up on top.
I think he's even more the horse to beat than 8-5 indicates. I mean, if you don't have any worries about Otto the Conqueror, he's even money.
Yeah.
So for me, I just didn't see it. I don't know why he's here. It's one of those races. Let me just do a quick thing. And I'll tell you, I will say that, it's my favorite and maybe only single usage, Seth, of the buyer figures is the buyer par. So I think, 1 or 2 horses once have run a buyer par theoretically high enough to win this race. Loco Barrio, the 2 is my top pick. I thought I had good speed. I like the fact that I've run a little bit longer, so the good running late. I think the sprinting stamina will be there. I have Otto the Conqueror, who to me is definitely the horse to beat, and then Friar Lawrence. Seth and I see it.
Yeah, you mentioned the buyer par of 90. You have to go down the page a little bit to get. This is one of those races that for me is a little bit of a puzzle because of that. The best races are, you got to go 3 or 4 down or more to get to those better races. And the recent form isn't top form for this.
And the problem would be that almost everyone other than Otto the Conqueror might have to run their career best or match their career best to win, because 6 of them I think are very competitive with each other. We'll see how they play today, but go ahead. It's just an interesting race.
Race number 2 this afternoon. We're looking at maiden specials. These are 2-year-olds going 3/4 of a mile.
This could be the Steve Asmussen 8-5 morning line daily double twice, as he has my second pick both times are 8-5 in the morning. I'm 6-4-7. Seth and I see it similar. And by the way, though, the first time starter, yesterday, this, and I tell you, there's never been and may never be a public handicapper that picks more horses to run last than me. But 2 awful picks. But the one in the opener, they went hog wild. I want no part of it. I was like, they all kind of saw the same workout, and the horse, to be honest with you, was never competitive, was never in it. I'm 6-4-7 here. And if they go with further ado for Brad Cox, the offspring of Gun Runner, owned by Spendthrift, bred by John Oxley, and I have highlighted the 4th workout back down at Keeneland, 47-1, breezing of the gate. How does a 2-year-old breeze from the gate and go 47-1? What would he do handily? So, and then I have Soldier Diplomat, quality multiple works going back for Steve Asmussen. That's the 4. And then I have Forever Man and Offspring of Bolt d'Oro that I'm shocked that my partner left off. I'm guessing he's the fourth place horse, but 6, 4, 7 for me.
Just seeing if I can pull it up quickly. Turn to the feature today.
The feature today?
Yeah, that's the Jim Dandy.
The Jim Dandy feature?
You know, we were talking yesterday, no more, you don't see Handley that much anymore. And I said to you, it used to be completely, it was 180 degrees over the years in Southern California. So take a look in the Jim Dandy, race 10 at Baeza, and look at his workouts. They're all Handley. They're completely the opposite over on the West Coast, and I have never been able to figure it out. It's a crazy.
Now you have Mike on off. Is it their call? They just say 48 and 3 freezingly because they have to be right. They clock it, so they get to make the determination of how they did it.
Yeah, I'll ask.
Second
race for me, 6, 8, 4, and 2. But it's my DePaula play, it's my dark horse play of the day. We have already seen DePaula. No, the 8. And I was going to say I don't normally go underneath. But to me, the 6 and the 8 are pretty similar. But I tilted towards the 6 because Brad Cox is better with first-time starters. Kenny McPeak doesn't typically, and he's been on the show and said it, doesn't normally have him cranked up. So for picks, I think the more likely winner is probably Further Ado. But at 5-2 versus 15-1, I think Farrell is interesting. And they're both based on similar thoughts. For Further Ado on top, but I'll go first to Farrell because he is my dark horse play of the day. Farrell is by Volatile. Volatile is 19% with 2-year-old first-time starters. Obviously, very good numbers there. Farrell has some siblings. One Fast Cat won the debut. Will or Won't won the debut. North Broadway won the second start of the career. There's a nice workout on July 4th. Again, I just shied away a little bit, though, from Kenny McPeak with his numbers with 2-year-olds, but he can get it done. But at 15-1, I couldn't ignore this one as the dark horse play of the day. So, again, brought to you by the Dark Horse Mercantile and Impressions of Saratoga, both in downtown Saratoga and Broadway. And, again, if you're coming up on a Saturday, you're going to the track and then downtown later. They're usually open a little bit later till about 9 o'clock. Swing by, say hello. Impressions of Saratoga and Dark Horse. Appreciate their sponsorship. Dark Horse play of the day today. Race number 2, horse number 8, Farrell. But as I say, I have similar breeding thoughts on Further Ado by Gunrunner. They paid $500,000 at 2-year-old sale earlier this year. Sibling Super Comet won the first 2. Beautiful Street won the debut. Beautiful Memories won the debut. Solid workouts, and Brad Cox does typically have them cranked up in debut. So I tilted slightly there, but on the price, Farrell is very intriguing. And Soldier and Diplomat in the third slot. Army Mule, 14% with 2-year-old first-time starters. The 59 and change workout is interesting. Amador looks like an interesting player for Todd Pletcher by Constitution. But for me, 6, 8, 4, and 2.
Yeah, it's funny about with Army Mule. I'm kind of focused to see the one of the better horses he produces, how many starts they have. I always had that angle with all the offspring of Unbridled Song that were so expensive because Unbridled Song had a very hiccupy career, and that was the same thing with Army Mule. And I ever tell you the story that I do have a too big a mouth. I was doing my diatribe about Unbridled Song to the man who stood him. He was so gracious. Now he was so gracious. He kind of laughed, and when he was like, he said, not only are you right, he knew why, but he's like, he hands me his business card. I go, I'm sorry. I said, I just am like so enthusiastic of it. He was so gracious about it, though. He goes, he didn't. I hate this double negative. Like he didn't say you're not wrong. He was very much like, yes. I mean, he told me exactly why he was. And I'm interested in Army Mule, who was so loaded with talent. What do you have? 4 career starts, maybe. And he's been good as a stallion with precocious early ones.
Yeah.
Claimers in for 17, 2L going 7/8.
8, 6, 4, and 1. Tarpaulin on top for Brittany Russell. Makes that move I talk about quite a bit. Normally, I like to see a little bit more on the state bred allowance side, but I do like state bred allowance into an open claimer, and I always say an open conditional claimer, even better. It comes out of a state bred allowance, but as I say, normally I like maybe 2 or 3 of those races and then making the move. But I think off the improving buyers, the class move, I think Tarpaulin is very tough in here today. Middle market goes out for Chad Brown and Klarovich, third start of the season. First couple of numbers paired up, but they were against better. But this is one of those where we're making a move where I'm a little bit dicey, but we've talked about it. The rules kind of change up here a little bit, particularly with an outfit like this, where they're going to have runners that we need stall space to move
Remember
in.
when this outfit played at this level?
That's right. That's a while ago.
I'm old.
So middle market is absolutely a player in here, and then Brave Buck in the third spot. Now this one you really have to scratch your head. Claimed last time for 50, comes back off the claim for 17, but does attract Irad Ortiz, so couldn't leave it out of the mix. But 8, 6, 4, and 1.
It doesn't make for great television with so much agreement, but I middle market to me is just tough. I mean, you go back with those people, your Sunday co-host in the second hour, the trainer they use, these guys used to use.
Oh, right.
And I think won a grade 1 with them. But I'm 6'3" here. Middle market, I completely agree with Seth. There's just, at this meet, there's I think more than any other time of year where, you know, horses that are in spots where you're like, are you just giving the horse away? Which you know, a fire sale is not usually a good place to be on at a short price, but it's just a little different up here. Nick Zito sending out the 3 off of a Gulfstream Park runner-up position, and then Tarpaulin for Brittany Russell, that first career start. It might be the buyer low, but I'm intrigued. 6-3-8.
All right, we'll head to a break. When we come back, more of a look at this Saturday afternoon card at Saratoga. Stay tuned.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
The only thing better than watching the races is watching your own racehorse. With nearly 20 years experience in the racing industry, Bonaventure Stables' share-based ownership program enables everyday fans to become part owner of a thoroughbred for far less than you might think, with all the ownership perks at Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, and other great tracks. Experience the thrill and lifestyle of owning your own thoroughbred racehorse. Learn more at bonaventurestables.com.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report. Seth, Merrow, and Anthony Mormino in here on a gorgeous Saturday morning. 4th race coming up. And let me remind you, I didn't say at the top of the show, but I had Katie Davis in here yesterday, and we promoted it. Don't forget, there's the event across the street tonight. Katie Davis and her husband, Trevor McCarthy, match racing with some of the notables across the street. Katie will be under saddle with the trotter. Trevor will be in the sulky, and did the event last year. There was a great crowd over there, and I think with the weather, it's going to be a gorgeous night. So keep that in mind for the harness track tonight. 4th race today here on the flat side of things. Optional claimers with the C condition going 9 furlongs.
And 2 things. Our friend and colleague let us know that never in my lifetime have they opened before July 26th.
Friend and colleague's brother. It was John who said the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that, what was 1900?
He was sending from the 1880s to 1900. There were earlier July opening dates. One of them was
You can let them know my data only usually goes back to about 1958. That's about where I have to cut it off.
But they did start earlier. That was also, I'm assuming, probably the 2:00 post.
Oh, absolutely. Probably maybe seven races.
Right? Yeah.
Quick note. I don't like when I do. It's like Manhattan Beauty was the horse yesterday. They pounded down to 3-2 favorite. Didn't beat a horse. I want to put 3-1-2. Seth is probably the same thing. Where with Arthur's Ride. What do you do here? I mean, and I'll let people know Arthur's Ride was my pick in the Breeders' Cup Classic. I beat 2 horses. So, that's where I am. He comes back to Saratoga. We begin anew in brilliant hands. I'm just taking a shot with Film Star, who has to run the race of his life he has to run basically the race of his life, and Arthur's Ride has to repeat his Breeders' Cup Classic. So that's where I am. And Trademark for third, who I think is in a good spot to run about the second best race of his life, but a big fly in the ointment with Arthur's Ride here.
Yeah, I mean, my question was, why debut in July? I had a question.
3-race season?
And yeah, I mean, that's clearly what they're shooting for. But, good record at Saratoga. Won the Whitney last year with a 110 buyer. The one to beat, no question about it. But again, the question mark led me to go to Big Blue Line. Rick Dutrow trainee now off the claim. That was a win back on Belmont Stakes weekend right up here. So horse is in good form, improving form, moves to the Dutrow barn. I'll use that one with some trepidation. I was looking for an alternative, Arthur's Ride underneath, and then Trademark, Vicky Oliver, runner for BBN Racing. On a better effort, this one. You see a triple digit down the page when this horse won the Clark in 2023.
That was the moment.
So, if we get back to that, certainly a solid player. So for me, in the fourth, 5, 1, 2, and 4.
On to the fifth one. I have Claimers 2L, dashing 5.5 on the turf.
Top of the page, I have written this one's kind of a puzzle. I have a 10, 11, 6, and 7. Cocktail War on top of a class drop on the move up from Gulfstream for Antonio Sano. Tossed in a clunker last time, which gives you a concern that the drop is just kind of fire sale, but why bother to come up to New York for that? And the race just before over at Tampa was only in March. And so, I say often, don't make a decision on one race, good or bad. So I'm going to kind of draw a line through that last one and look for a better effort on the class drop today. Plus, Irod Ortiz jumps on board. Second spot, we'll go a little outside of that one. Ready, Set, Twirl. Rudy Runner that comes in. Races that number-wise, 3 back was clearly a player, but that was a maiden race. The 2 since the maiden race, number-wise, make this one a player, and they were against maybe a little bit saltier, so should get a class break today. Unbroken Shane, the number 6 horse in the third spot, again, is tossing numbers that I think solidly fit in here, and Melanie Giddings having a nice meet so far, so another one that gets a little class relief also. In the fifth, 10, 11, 6, and 7.
I think Ready, Set, Twirl, who's 10-1 on the outside of the main body, is quite attractive for one central reason. As Seth mentioned, after a short break, was very good against maiden claimers. And then for many of us, this spot now might have been the next logical spot. He ran against tougher. So now it's, for me, this is the first race since he broke his maiden where he's in a spot that I'm like, absolutely competitive. We're on the outside. I'm 10-1. I have underneath, I have Nano Man for John Kimmel making the first start since April, shortening up. And then Jose Ortiz and Pat Reynolds on the 9. So 11, 8, 9. But I have to tell you, I find Ready, Set, Twirl to be one of the more attractive horses on the card for me today.
Yeah, all right. Let's move on to race number 6. State Red Allowance runners, non-winners of one other than 8.5 furlongs on the grass.
No. Katie Davis, the old Racing Across America angle, you pay your homage and you find the winner's circle. So Sail with the Wind is going to be a solid price in here for Jeremiah Engelhardt. They've hit the board in both starts this year. Down, going on the inner, inside. We're going to, I think, get good position, maybe 2 off for a second. Tongue Twister. Carlos David sends out this runner, loved the race 2 races back. and I'm okay with the more recent effort. That was June 22nd, beaten favorite. Now comes back. I'm more expecting the 2 races back type of performance. And then James Bond, who we have seen the group, sends out the 1 for the second start of the year, 5-4-1.
Yeah, we had a nice TV to winner's circle moment with Carrie Bryan, and usually it's the same day. But with Carrie Bryan, I had her on Sunday, and she won the first race, the Smithwick, on Wednesday. And I wasn't going to get her on Wednesday morning. She had 3 horses in the first race. So I'm counting that as, the TV to winner's circle moment just recently. And I'm certainly rooting for the Bonaventure folks and Katie Davis. And I want to thank the Bonaventure folks for inviting me to their annual little get-together downtown last night. And I'm going to be handicapping for them and the get-together over on the front side in a little while. But always fun, Dan Collins and company. And I know a lot
you're going to handicap before the races. That's a very good idea. If I was having a group, that's what I would do. What Dan's done is I'd get you in there before the race. Dan is on it. Knows stuff.
Dan is on it, whereas others maybe So again, I'm rooting for those guys. I put them underneath. I just have your top 2 flip-flopped, and I could have gone either way really, but it's tilted slightly towards Tongue Twister. Irod Ortiz hops on board. Last time 5th place finish is beaten favorite, but I would look for a rebound from that one. The races just before are very good and are good enough to have maybe a slight edge on Sail with the Wind. But as I say, I'm rooting for my friends at Bonaventure coming off first 2 starts of the season. And now the 3rd start back, that is certainly a notable move typically. And I would expect this one to live up to that and be, these 2 to me are right in the same ballpark. Then I'll use the number 1 for James Bond. Comes in off a series of state bred allowance races similar to today. So it's kind of been stuck in this condition for a while. But this is the 2nd start of the season. And, buyer number went backwards a little bit in the first start. I would expect a rebound to a better number today. So for me, in the 6th, 4, 5, 1, and 8.
Take a quick break. When we come back, we kick off the Pick 6.
It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor, from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the Dark Horse.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
You like free money? Well, Capital OTB gives its players plenty of opportunities to cash in. At Capital OTB, there are so many ways for horse players to receive bonus dollars by simply participating in promotions such as our bankrolls, bounty bets, online handicapping contests, and much, much more. Plus, with Capital OTB's Player Rewards program, you get actual cash back. So what are you waiting for? Log on today at CapitalOTB.com or CapitalOTBBet.com and claim your free money.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Oops, my bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Race 7, 2-year-old fillies, maiden special weights, going 6.
I'm with Kevin Cox here. His DePaula play of the day today, Vara. I have that one on top, 4, 8, 10, and 2. Vara by Vacoma. You knew I was going to go.
Trying to get that second winner, aren't you?
I love the Vacoma firsters. Now, this one isn't a firster, but I'll stick on board. Given that this horse showed some punch in the debut before fading a little bit. By Vacoma was 21% with 2-year-old first-time starters. Again, didn't live up to that, but I'll hang on. I always say also, horses like this, we'll see if he gets it done today. She gets it done today. But if not, with the win early breeding, if they go 2 or 3 starts and don't get it done, then do a switch up, try the turf or stretch out or something, take another look. But we'll see. Again, first couple of starts, I'm willing to just lay on the breeding side of the things. There were 2 racing siblings. One of those was named In Theory and won the career debut. So one of the 2 was a debut winner on the bottom side. Vekoma, very good on the top side. Rudy Brissett does very well with second-time starters. So I'll go with Vara on top. Second slot, we'll go out to number 8, Immortalize. Brad Cox, offspring of Gunrunner. The dam has produced a couple of win early siblings. Higginson won the career debut. Pure Poetry was a win in the second start, so I like that one. And Lolly Poppin for Bill Mott. A couple of siblings. Nolo Contesto won the second start. Clapping won the career debut. Munnings is very good with win early type, so I'll use that one as well. Fun race, 4, 8, 10, and 2.
As I look at this race, Seth, this is, I don't know what the terminology, but this could be one of those races that the stars fell all together. There's 10 in here, and there's like 7 that you're like the pedigrees, the connections. You're like, I might have opted for a Thursday 6 furlong. I know there's more eyes on Saturday, but not only am I just guessing here, the 5th place runner might be a good horse down the road. I'm 974. I have no idea. Academia. The one thing, I think the breeder White Birch Farm, I think that's Peter Brand.
Oh, yeah.
That's who he is.
A homebred.
So it's a homebred into mischief. That's where I'm going with. Tommy Joe, Todd Pletcher, a homebred into mischief. There's a theme here, folks. And for third, I think because the one race is so valuable, and this type of one race to me is infinitely valuable. The old on the pace. I don't pay much attention to those internal fractions. If you're, newer to the sport and your eyes pop out, there's just such a long run up. They're probably at full speed when they trip the teletimer. So you see those fractions, but 974.
8th race this afternoon. We're looking at state-bred non-winners of 1 allowance runners going 3/4 of a mile.
I'm 624. Mitch Friedman's runner broke the maiden in the 9th career start. Seth, I think your idea is you call it the light bulb effect or something. Mm-hmm. But I never did the study for it. But you say, well, it took 9 to break the maiden, but it might only take 2 or 3 to be tougher. I cannot tell you why, but I'm willing to find out with Roofer at 6-1. For a second, Stewie going out after a second place finish at this level at the Belmont part of this meet, and then the 4 for Chris Engelhardt. Big performance at the Flakes, 6-2-4.
3, 4, 2, and 7. I'm going to put Vikinda on top for George Weaver. Had another winner yesterday. He continues to go very well at the meet. Vikinda in the hunt far more often than not. In the hunt in all 8 starts, actually 8 in the money finishes. Now there's only 1 win, but I'm going to look for this one to match up nicely with this group this afternoon. I'll put Vikinda on top. Second spot, Blamiker comes in from the Finger Lakes for Chris Engelhardt off a very big win. If we repeat that, the 4-horse might be the one to beat in here. And, there was a time where Finger Lake shippers, you would look askance maybe. We have long since thought,
I saw them going.
They had a couple little kids and a thing attached to the front of his
looked like a soapbox derby.
Yeah, it was a different setup than I've ever seen. But the kids must have been having a great time. But the 4-horse, again, from Finger Lakes, I think is live in here. And then Stewie in the 3rd spot. A couple of nice second-place finishes, bookending a 5th. The 5th was on the turf, though. The 2 nice races are on the dirt, and they're on the dirt again today. Irad Ortiz on board for Jamie Begg. Should be a solid player. I think the 5-1 is kind of generous. In the 8th, 3, 4, 2, and 7.
On to the 9th, and just to show you how the Lake George was one of those added stakes races when the meet started to really expand. And that was 30 years ago. We used to have it was the Najana. We had basically 1 3-year-old filly turf race because the season was so short. And as it got longer, they added the Lake George, and they changed the Najana to the Lake Classic.
5, 4, 6, and 10 for me. Classic Q, part of that Mark Cassie 3-year-old filly Armada. nice win in the Wild Applause in a solid finishing time back July 4th weekend. This is a horse that has run well with 3 wins in 7 starts, but if the horse doesn't win, off the board. So it's kind of a either or situation. I'll go on the win side of things today with Classic Q. But if you're a little skeptical, Lavender Disaster for Chad Brown also has had a nice career so far, tossed in 1 clunker in the Miss Grillo last fall. Other than that, has been pretty solid. And I think did finish being Classic Q last time at July 3rd race, however. Princess Attitude in the 3rd spot at 15-1. I've said it before. Vicky Oliver, to me, is a fun trainer and can kind of pop in places and get it done at a price. And I think this one may offer 15-1 on the morning line, may offer a good price. But I think this horse is a contender in here. Junior Alvarado was on board for the stakes race, 2nd place finish last time down at Churchill. Back on board again today. 5, 4, 6, and 10.
Seth, I have 8 of the 10.
Yeah.
And Princess Attitude is the one of the 3 long shots that is in the group. The other 2 long shots are on the outside looking in for me. Wide open race. I went to the 10.
I might have had yours a little further up. I put it in the 4th spot,
Right.
but the post position.
The post position is the problem. But I'm also thinking with the running style, it might not be that bad because I think horses can clear. I've always said, honestly, I'm not going to tell any jockey what to do, but with manufacturers, like, kind of miss the break, take the 45-degree angle, and then you have to I would rather save ground and hope I get out than the 3-4 wide around. I'm 10-4-2 in here, and I think 8 of the 10 in the main body are live to win it.
Excellent. We'll take a break. When we come back, Jim Dandy and the final few races here at Saratoga on this Saturday afternoon. Stay tuned.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
All right, welcome back. Feature race today. Race number 10 here at Saratoga on a Saturday afternoon. It is the Jim Dandy, traditionally a prep for the Travers Grade 2 event, $500,000 up for grabs, 9 furlongs the trip.
I've said this before. I liked what Jenna Antonucci did a couple years ago with Archangel. Skip the races before. It's hard to go from the Belmont. Now, hers was a 12-furlong Belmont to the Travers. I mean, the race goes through sovereignty. I mean, you're going to have David on, and 2 to 5 is rarely seen on a morning line. And with Baeza in here, I'm like, okay. I'm starting to think of Baeza the way I used to think of Stefan's Odyssey 40 years ago, that always seemed to be the horse that was going. I think he ran the big Jim Dandy. That was his race, and then was the favorite. I'm Moplex, though, because, you know, Sovereignty is looking for $1 million Grade 1 race. He's in brilliant hands, a horse I've liked through the spring, got off him for the Belmont. So Moplex, just an outsider who has to run the race of his life. The other 2 horses, you know, with the idea of Moplex is this might be, the focus. If he wins, they'll say, but for Baeza and Sovereignty, that there's another step coming. So I just am looking for an upset, taking a flyer against, the 3-year-old Pro Tem leader and Baeza, who is the 3rd ranked 3-year-old. But it's going to be very tactically interesting to me to see how it plays out.
Yeah, Moplex also, there's the potential of a theft on the front end in here. And so I didn't use it, but I had Jeremiah in the other day. Be interesting to see. I couldn't get past Sovereignty. Not just I think he lays over the field, but I've been on him throughout the season. The Derby and the Belmont, both of those. The Derby price I thought was very good. The Belmont price I thought was okay at 5-2. We are not going to be close to that today, unfortunately, but I think deservedly so. A short price. I think he and journalism have kind of separated themselves. Clearly, in 3rd is Baeza, but I think he's a step away from the top 2. But he's legit. And Sandman, we have Terry Finley in the green room. He's going to join us in a few. Sandman, with that win in the Arkansas Derby, planted himself as a contender in the division and ran 3rd in the Preakness behind Journalism Gosker, who ran so well in the Haskell last week. So he's interesting also for me, 5-1-2.
On to the 11th, State Bred Fillies, maiden special weights, 8.5 on the turf.
This race, when I looked at it, where's the speed? And I was looking at horses who seem to have closed well, but I'm not sure we're going to have anything to close into. So I'm 4, 5, 9, and 3. The 6 is also interesting to me, but I used Tehila on top. Showed a little closing punch last time in a kind of a fast sprint, first start of the season. So I thought could benefit from that. But again, I don't know what we're going to get to close into, but I still thought maybe I'll tilt towards this horse. And again, kind of an evenly matched field. Will of a Woman in the 2nd spot. This one closed last time into a slow pace. I mean, they hit 3/4 in 1:14 and still just missed. So maybe if it is a slow pace, we can still do what we saw last time. Had it been a fast pace, this one maybe would have been a little more attractive, but I just don't know who the speed will be. Hello Beauty was kind of up close to the pace last time. Maybe Hello Beauty will be the player on the front end. But for me, 4, 5, 9, and 3.
I've seen Frankie steal grade 1s on the turf on the front end. I think he goes, according to the buyer par, Hello Beauty might be the only one to be able to win this race. Because after her, they're all in the same boat, basically 58 to 60 to run. So I got to take a price. I'm 5-1-9 in here. Tom Morley sends out the 5, who first time on the turf in the 3rd career start, just got beat at 5-1. So 5-1-9 in the 9th.
And we will wrap it up at about 6:49 tonight. That's scheduled post time for race number 12, maiden 50 claimers, mile and a 16th on the grass.
Did we mention what's it? 12:30 post time? It's kind of the Saturday thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, 8-6-12 Mallorca, my top pick. They had blinkers here. Goes in the barn of Joe Sharp, who is, he and Miguel Clement are like the white hot guys. So I have Mallorca adding blinkers on top. Got beat at odds on downstate. And then Majestic Michael, first time in for a tag. Amelia Green had a winner yesterday, and she claimed, I think, another horse. And then Ski Bum. Maybe not today. 8-6-12. Not today. Skiing, that is.
No, 7, 9, 10, and 8. Fateful Lightning on top. Brad Cox trainee comes in with some solid numbers that might translate very nicely to move into the claiming ranks. Battle Drum, Pletcher and Rapoli runner dropped into the claiming ranks. 2 starts back and has run 2 good efforts. Stuck outside a little bit, though. That's a negative. Same with Hedge the Risk, who I think is very playable for Chad and Klarovich on another class move. But again, going to have to overcome the outside post. 12th and final for me, 7, 9, 10, and 8.
Now, post time's in 2.5 hours. It's a beautiful day. 12 race card. He stays. I go. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.
This has been the Handicappers Report, brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.